Now I'm going to be talking about what exactly the mutual fund. So the corporate class mutual fund is basically a tax advantage option of buying a mutual fund. And invest in those companies becomes a mutual fund.
I initially liked you right away to start with. You had a nice persona about you, and I believed in what you said. And I'm making money, and at the same time, it's going up.
Suppose you buy a single company and something happens to that company, the losses could be there drastically. So all the company cannot go down in one day. So welcome to my channel, Prasoon Srivastava, financial planner, and I've been doing practice for almost 2 decades now. You must have watched my previous video, which I recorded on life insurance, actually, what kind of a life insurance and how it works, a variety of insurance. But today, I'm going to be talking a more investment side of my practice, which is the mutual funds. So we do buy mutual fund to grow our money. So we invest there, it grows over the period of time, right? So I'm going to be talking about what exactly the mutual fund is and what variety of mutual funds we buy. Because everybody knows mutual fund in investment planning. But what exactly it is, how it is mutual, how it is called like a mutual fund. So exactly mutual fund is, say for example, if you're buying a single stock of a company, right? So suppose you're buying a Tim Horton or TD Bank or Scotia Bank, right? These are the individual companies you're buying it. So if a mutual fund manager, what he does is, the way which you go to eat your buffet lunch somewhere. And in buffet, what you do, whatever you like, you pick up in your plate and you eat it. So whatever you like. So we treat it like a mutual fund manager who manages the fund. What he does, whatever the fund companies he likes. So suppose he likes to have a mutual fund and he says, okay, I want today in this fund is like TD Bank, Scotia Bank, or some financials or some communication companies, and he put into the fund and invest in those companies. That becomes a mutual fund. Means like he is an expert, he's a guy who's managing that fund. So it becomes a mutual fund because he's buying into that fund pool of funds, different companies, and then he manages that. So because of he buying it, he manages it, he has some expenses to bond. So what happens, if suppose you buy a single company and something happens to that company, the losses could be there drastically. So one company, something suddenly happened to that individual company that may go down 15-20% in a day, anytime. Whereas in a mutual fund, because there are so many companies inside the mutual fund, so the downside protection is there because we have so many companies. All the company cannot go down in one day, right? That's one of the most easy way to understand how the mutual fund works. Does it make sense to you? So there are two categories of mutual funds. One is a trust company mutual fund and second is a corporate class mutual fund. So trust company mutual fund is one individual fund company has their own fund. Say for example, equity funds, the trust company funds. When there is a bond fund or money market fund, these are the individual trust company funds. And second option is a corporate class mutual fund. So the corporate class mutual fund is basically a tax advantage option of buying a mutual funds. So for example, if you buy a Tim Horton stock and if you're buying a $20 stock and it goes to say $60 and you're selling it, so you have $40 of capital gain. So you're gonna pay capital gain taxes. Whereas in a corporate class mutual funds, what happens is very tax efficient. So you can switch between the funds family without triggering any capital gain. So that's a very, very good thing for the people who wants to invest and they don't want to trigger any capital gain taxes during their financial year. So for them, for the non-registered account, this is a very good kind of fund which one can have that. So I'm going to be talking about when I decide to put trust mutual fund for my client and when I decide to put corporate class mutual funds for my client's account. See, as I told you, trust mutual fund, individual mutual fund, if we want to switch over from one fund company to another fund company, or within the family we switch one fund to another fund, it triggers the capital gain taxes or dividend, whatever the taxes trigger. So it triggers right away. So what happens if we buy these mutual funds in RSP account or tax-free savings account or first-time home buyer's savings plan? In those accounts, anything triggers inside that account doesn't trigger any capital gain taxes, and it triggers, but it doesn't flow through the client. So client doesn't have to pay any taxes in those accounts. So that mutual fund we purchase, trust mutual fund inside that registered account. Second portion, if suppose my client is having a lot of money and he wants to invest and don't want to have kind of any triggering of capital gain taxes, so we buy the corporate class mutual fund. So I'm going to give you an example of one of my client. He's one of my very old client and he invested his money. I invested for corporate class mutual fund for last say 7-8 years. He's not paying any taxes because all the taxes in between corporate class mutual funds is tax deferred. So that is something, a beauty of the corporate class. I'm going to be sharing this his testimonial in this video, that how he is happy, how much he is happy to having this kind of funds in his portfolio. Hi guys, as I talked to you before that I've been helping a lot of my clients, and today I'm sitting with one of my very good client, my friend, dear friend, Mr. Brian Crabb. Hi Brian.
Hello.
So Brian, remember first time we met together in 2017?
Yes.
So how was your experience since 2017 dealing with me?
Well, I don't know. I initially liked you right away to start with. You had a nice persona about you, and I believed in what you said, and I trusted you. You had that aura about you that worked for me.
So you kind of like my aura?
Yes, it's a nice aura.
Oh, that's good. Thank you, Brian. So remember when we met first time, and I mentioned you that because you were paying a lot of taxes actually when you were getting income.
Right.
So I told you, Brian, I can reduce your taxes, the kind of a way we structure our investments. And then I put you into corporate class structure, and there we structure your 5% income. And that's what kind of income you were looking for. Is there any change in your income since then? Like you are still getting the same income?
Getting the same. Working fine.
Okay.
Like clockwork, every month.
And how's your portfolio doing?
Very good. I'm just surprised that I can I'm making money, and at the same time, it's going up.
Good. So means like you started with a nest egg, and you're getting money, and your nest egg is also increasing, and you have withdrawn quite a bit of money since 2017, but still your market for your current investment is...
Which is amazing to me.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're a happy client.
Very, 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 yeah.
So what would you like to say to the people who are watching this video?
And the other thing too, Prasoon, I might add, is that if I have a question, you're always ready to answer me and give me the advice, and I appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I definitely would like to give all the advice which is possible in my capacity. And I would always scare you going into any kind of a scam or anything. I give always alert to you. So what would you like to say to the people who are watching this?
And I might add that when I do try to get a hold of you, it's not like 2 weeks later. You're prompt and you get back to me, and I appreciate that.
Thank you. I can understand that because we have a good connection actually.
Absolutely.
I don't want you to be waiting for my response actually. I'm kind of a 911 for you. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, Brian, what would you tell all this my audience who's watching this video, what they should be doing?
Well, I mean, I knew nothing about all this stuff until I met you. And I've learned a lot from you because, watching these investments that you've put me in, and they've all worked very well for me. And I've learned a lot from it, but, and appreciated that, like we just said, that not only am I making money monthly, but the portfolio is going up. I mean, who couldn't be happy about that? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I mean, beautiful stuff. I mean, it almost doesn't seem fair. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
You're withdrawing the money is still going.
You're making money, and what?
Yeah. And also, other thing is very important to understand that the income what you're getting is very tax efficient.
Yeah,
which is retaining your old age security, because otherwise what happens in Canada, beyond a certain threshold, if you get income, your old age security get clawed back. But you are not getting into that kind of trouble.
Right, exactly. That's
right?
true. It's true.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Brian, for endorsing me today, and I appreciate that. Meet Brian, he's a nice guy. As you must have listened to the Brian who has been talking in this testimonial video, that he's so happy that, I mean, he's been endorsing this class of fund, he's been endorsing about the portfolio growth, what he has done so far, and he has been withdrawing also the money. So if you want to know more about it, you can contact me. Plus, don't forget to subscribe my channel, like it, share with your friends and family if you like my content. Thank you once again.